In this video, you're going to look at what's called law of sines. This is a method to solve non-right triangles. So the method that you've learned, sine, cosine, tangent, secant, cosecant, cotangent, work for right triangles. This method is if your triangle has not got a right angle in it. These notes should go in your notebook on page 24. The formula is given to you. It's actually on your formula sheet. So on your formula sheet, you will see the law of sines right here along with law of cosine, which we'll talk about on Friday. So what we have is basically two versions. There is an or there. This is what's on your formula sheet. Sine of A over A is a ratio is equal to the sine of B over B is equal to sine of C over C. You can also take all of those and flip them and do the sides over the angles. You will notice that there are two equal signs. You really have to work with two of the three. So as we do problems, we won't use all three of them. You have to find two pairs to match up. Also, just kind of a thing to remember is in a triangle, if we have A, B, C, those big angle letters represent angles. Opposite would be considered smaller. So opposite A would be little a. Opposite B would be little b. And opposite C would be little c. So as I do triangles on this video that you should be taking in your notes on page 24, you will notice that we can use those letters. You have to find a pair. So you have to have A and little a, or B and little b, or C and little c. You have to have two sets, though, to match up to do law of sines. So, our first example, we're going to go ahead and give you a triangle. So, example 1, go ahead and draw the triangle. And at any time, if the video is going too fast, you can stop it and rewind it. So, in this triangle, we have triangle A, B, C. We have angle B is 80. We have angle C is 34. And we have little 16, which is actually going to be called little a. In the problem, it's asking you to find little b. So what we want to do is we want to find little b for this problem. But to do it, you have to have a pair. So I'm going to circle. 80, big B, goes with little b. So that's going to be one we're going to be solving for. So we write sine of 80, it's always an angle, over little b, that's a set, equals. Now we need another set. You'll notice that we have 16. That's the known information. Well, we don't have big A. We have to find it. But we can because we have two angles. So, if we use our calculator and do 180 minus 34 and minus 80, we get that third angle is 66. So this angle is 66. And with that, we now have another pair. So we would set up equals sine of 66, the angle, over 16, the side. And then what we would do is we would solve this out by cross multiplying. So we would take, cross multiply, we would take 16 times sine of 80 equals b times sine of 66. We have to solve for b, so we would divide both sides by sine of 66. So our answer for B, which is by itself now, we would then put in our calculator. So our calculator, we would type in 16 times sine of 80 16 times sine of 80, making sure we close that parentheses, divided by sine 66. Hit enter, and that side would be 17.2. And here is something to also note. So this side would be 17.2. You'll notice, I don't know if you remember back from geometry, but the bigger angle is opposite a bigger side. So 80 is bigger than 66, so side B should be bigger than side A, and it is. 17.2 is bigger than 16. If we wanted to, it doesn't say in the problem, but if we wanted to, we could go ahead and do law of sines and solve for little c over here. But that's not in the problem as of right now. We're going to do another example. So I'll give you a minute to write down. This will be example 2. And again, you can rerun the video at any time if it gets going too fast. So this is triangle RST. RS is 10. TS is 12. Angle R is 105, and we want to find angle S. So the first thing we would do is draw a triangle. Doesn't really matter what it looks like, just a triangle, and put R, S, and T on it. Technically, R would be opposite little r, S would be opposite little s, and T would be opposite little t. In this problem, they do use just the letters for the side, though, that you've done before. So RS, so from here to here, is 10. So we'll put a 10 there. TS, so from here to here, is 12. Angle R is 105. And we want to find angle S right here. Well, we can do that, but we have to figure out what pairs we have. So when we look at a problem, we have 105 here, and it goes with 12. So we have a pair. It wants to find S, but in order to find S, we would need little s. And we don't have that. So we're going to have to actually go about this using T and finding little t. But hopefully you understand that if we find this angle, we have enough to find big S without finding little s. So we're going to use the one in blue, and we're going to write that out. So that would be sine of 105 over 12. That's a pair. Now we have to set it equal to, well, the other one we can use is the purple right here, t, because we have that side. So this would be sine of big T, which we don't know, over little t, which is 10. Well, we have a ratio, so now we're going to solve it out. So cross multiply, this would be 10 times sine of 105 equals 12 times sine of t. And divide both sides by 12, and we're left with sine of t equals 10 times sine of 105 all over 12. Now, hopefully remember from yesterday that if we're looking for an angle, we're going to have to hit that second sine key. Just a second. So what we would do is, we would take on our calculator and we would do 10 times sine of 105 divided by 12. So 10 times sine of 105, close parentheses, divided by 12. And get that answer, 0.8049. Now, that's going to be what sine of t equals, 0.8049, and so forth. So what we can do is, and you can do this all at once also, but we would do second sine to get the angle, and I'm just going to use that answer. So I'm going to hit second, the negative, and that's the answer. You can also just bring it down on your calculator. Hit enter, and this angle is 54 degrees. So it would be, so T would be 54 degrees. Well, if T is 54 degrees, and we're looking for S, then it must be what's left over. So 54 and 105 give us 159. So if we take that from 180, we get 21 degrees for angle S. So we didn't really have to use S in the problem, but we were able to solve for it. There's one more example we're going to do. Again, if it gets going too fast, just stop it and rewind. Here's our last one on your notes. So, triangle ABC, angle B is 80, angle C is 23, BC is 15, find AC. So, label it A, B, C. B is 80, C is 23, BC is 15. We want to find AC, so we'll put, this would be little b. Well, again, we need a pair. We have 15, which means we need angle A, but we have enough to find angle A. So we know we have 80 and 23, which is 103. So that means angle A must be 77. So now we have pairs. Yellow together and the purple together. So sine of 77 over 15 equals sine of 80 over B. Doesn't matter the order you put them in as long as they match up with their partner. So cross multiply. 15 times sine of 80. Divide both sides by sine of 77. And you have your answer. Go to your calculator, you're going to type in 15 sine of 80 divided by sine of 77. So 15 times sine of 80 divided by sine of 77. Looks like that side is 15.2. So B is 15.2. You're going to do the worksheet that says law of sines. I'm not sure if this is recorded or not, so I might be repeating myself, but you're going to do the worksheet that says law of sines, 1 through 10, that front side. Again, not 100% sure if this is recorded, so you're going to do the side that says law of sines, 1 through 10. Don't worry, don't do this other side that says law of cosines yet. We'll be talking about that tomorrow. Just the side that says law of sines, 1 through 10. Those answers will be posted on Moodle, probably not till Friday, but we'll talk more about this on Friday and finish up and do law of cosines also.